stuff. And of course, during World War II, we were China's biggest ally. If it wasn't fucking for America, fucking China would be, learning karate and fucking, fucking eating Japanese food every single day in and out. They would be fucking Japanese. So, I mean, it's very interesting because then after that, we do have the Maoist communist revolution in China. And it's funny because I took Tai Chi for many years, and the Tai Chi teacher, he's passed away now, but would tell stories about how when he was young and had to train martial arts, he had to go to the cemetery at night. Because during the communist revolution and the cultural revolution, it's very strange that during Maoist China, they were suppressing actual Chinese culture. You couldn't practice martial arts, which is so weird to think for fucking China, right? You couldn't practice kung fu in China, or else you would go to jail. That's so weird to think, right? But China's just so interesting to think of because, China is still under that same form of government. China is still a communist nation, as was formed by Mao. Mao is a hero to China, even though he's a mass murderer in the numbers of millions, maybe even more so than Joseph Stalin, or definitely more so than even Hitler, as far as the amount of people who died under the fucking communist Chinese reforms. So China's really an interesting, what is their play here? Is their play for the rest of the world to become like communist China? Now, I know that that's a generalization. China is more of a mix between, communist and capitalist ideologies now, kind of thanks to Hong Kong being part of China and that mix of cultures there. But yeah, I really don't see China as being a nation out there who wants to rule the world. Maybe I'm ignorant on that, but Joe, you had said something like that's always been China's goal, and I'd like to hear you kind of expand on how that is the case.
Well, yeah, when China, way back in the 1800s, when they were out there like England, with their boats, trying to discover new lands so that they can conquer them. There was what's the name of the famous war? Is it the Boer War? No, it's the war between China and Japan, even I think around the 1800s. Like I said, every country has dictators. Every country has their form of Attila the Hun and Genghis Khan, and what is it that they always want to do? They want to conquer. Didn't Caligula,
Genghis Khan
Nero,
wanted to
Caesar?
Fuck everybody on the world. I think the only reason why Genghis Khan did that is because he just wanted to fuck a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No, I heard a statistic that Genghis Khan raped so many women that the Afghanistan and the Saudi Arabia, they're almost like 71% of the people on there have Genghis Khan's bloodline.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, to the spoils, to the victors go the spoils. And his apparently one of his major goals in life was to fuck and fuck and fuck. I didn't know that about him, but of course, if you're going to be that ruthless, you're going to fuck every goddamn thing in sight. So, but the major goal of all countries is to conquer and rule the world. As a matter of fact, it's not just the countries. They're nothing more, and they may not even know this, nothing more than the arm of the Rothschilds. Because, again, any country that has a central bank is being controlled by the Rothschilds. Now, why I say that is because no country should have a central bank. The Fed, that's the central bank in our country, takes billions out of our economy every year. They have $6 trillion on their balance sheet. People don't know how the Fed works, but if you do some research, you'll find out that it shouldn't have existed in the first place. It's ruining the culture, it's ruining our economy because, again, it should never have existed. They create money out of debt. People think that when money is printed up, the government takes the money, gives it to the federal agencies so that the federal agencies can do whatever they want to do with them. That's not the way it works. Money is printed up, but bonds are also printed up. Bonds, which means that the Treasury will sell, let's say, $100 million worth of bonds. So, kind of like a country like China comes along and buys the bond for $100 million. So they give the government $100 million. Okay, so now the government has the money to spend, but the government could have printed up $100 million without borrowing it. But the fly in the ointment is when you have bonds and China or anybody buys the $100 million bond. Yes, the government has $100 million, but at the end of the year, you got to pay back $100 fucking million to the person who bought the bond. So now you've got $100 million from the bond. You spent it. Where are you going to get the money to pay back the $100 million that you borrowed? You got to issue more bonds. And this cycle of bonds and debts makes the Federal Reserve rich. We can get into that on another show. I can get into more specifics.
James
But
Bond.
the thing is that every day. Go ahead, guys.
No, I just wanted to expand
dictator.
upon.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to expand upon. I did look it up, and I seen an article. It says 1 in every 200 men in the world are direct descendants of Genghis Khan.
Jesus, that guy fucked. Whew.
That guy was like, we hear about how much of a conqueror he was. How do you have time to conquer when you're fucking that much?
Well, that's why he
Populating
conquered.
the world.
Every time every time he put up a new tent, he said, "Bring me the bitches," and they did. Didn't know he did all that.
And he
stuff.
must have
well,
had.
He's almost
He
as
must have had really
almost as
powerful
prolific as Will Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, like, if 1 in every 200 men are like actual direct descendants of Genghis Khan, that means like almost every time he fucked somebody, he got them pregnant too.
Well, and not only that, his
very-
sons got women pregnant, and his son, that, like they're saying, a direct descent. So
Yeah,
not
sure.
only was he fucking, all of his children, and his children were fucking real hard too.
Oh yeah, I mean, if
what
1
if
in every 200 people.
What if we didn't know that Genghis
That
Khan
means
had some type of secret power? He had some type of secret power to where, like, he could totally ignore a woman's normal ovulation cycle and get a woman pregnant no matter what time of the month it was. And that's the secret.
Oh, yeah. You know what I heard? I heard that he invented Viagra. So it's possible.
Yeah.
I owe that man a
Yeah,
edible
so
arrangement.
Well, that's it. I mean, the Rothschilds rule the world because every country that has a central bank has to be controlled by the central bank. Otherwise, they would eliminate the central bank and steal the money from the people themselves instead of sharing that particular type of position with the central bank. So again, on another show, maybe I can get into it and show you guys how the Federal Reserve works. They don't even hide it. The Federal Reserve talks about how it creates money out of debt. When I was going as a grad student for my master's in banking and finance. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was Ron Paul's cry, and he knew what he was talking about. But you guys have only got a few minutes left, so I guess I'm going to let you guys do your 2-minute outgoing messages, and I guess I'll see you guys next week if I remember, and if you guys, don't die from COVID, so you guys be safe, okay? I mean, the fake
It's
COVID.
nice talking to you, Joe.
The fake COVID thing.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
if you want, go ahead and follow us on Facebook. It's at Dapper Baboon on Facebook. There's a couple different video things and different things that we do there. So yeah.
Yeah, I might take a look, but you won't see me on Facebook officially because Facebook, I realized from years ago, was always being monitored by the government. And then I realized that Zuckerberg probably is in league with the government. Just like the guy who set up Google. They were probably, the rumor is they were all funded by the CIA, and I don't doubt it. 1984 is here. 1984 predicted the TV spying on you in your own home, and we practically have that. We have Alexa, which spies on you. You have door cameras that you buy in order to give you security at the door, but the cameras spy on you. They've already been incidences of people who have said that their camera was spying on them. And Google, again, you don't have too much time left. But, look, you guys have a good weekend and be safe out there, okay? I'll talk to you guys
later. You too.
You too, Joe.
Okay.
Damn
Take it
it.
easy now.
Joe just ruined
bye.
Facebook for me. Joe just ruined Facebook for us. We can't get on Facebook now, Dave. They're watching.
I mean, they're not gonna find anything for me, so I don't care if they watch or not.
Fuck you. Hey, I'm so glad Joe calls in.
Yeah, I like Joe.
Joe's the man. Joe's like way smarter than us. It's obvious every time he calls. Like Joe, like way smarter than us, and we're like, okay, just talk and say everything you want to say, Joe.
He's a good guy.
Well, Dave, I want to formally apologize for giving you such a hard time at the beginning of the show.
Oh, it's all good, man. That's our dynamic.
I love you, man. I love you.
I love you too, dude. I love you too, dude.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Dapper Baboon podcast on Friday nights from 10 to noon. Not noon, midnight, whatever the fuck. And we will see you next week. Dave, do you have anything to say before we go?
I just want to say see you later, you fuck faces.